Reprendre votre thérapie, d'aller en partie.
With the early announcement of World of Warcraft Legion last week, as usual with all World of Warcraft's expansions, there's been a lot of speculation about potential changes Blizzard could be implementing. The following is basically a wish list of a few things that I hope Blizzard does with the Legion. I'm already quite hyped for the expansion and of what we've seen so far, and Blizzard have already announced a few changes that would have made it onto my list had they not announced the change already, such as removal of dedicated PvP gear. But the following list are 5 things that I hope the devs are at least considering for Legion. First of all, I love the current legendary quest chain. It gives players guidance in what can often be an overwhelming game. It can be grindy, but if you follow it from start to finish, you can be sure that you'll have seen the main body of PvE content that an expansion has to offer. So why not do another separate one for PvP? It would give PvP players the direction that I feel is sorely lacking in WoW at the moment, and make PvP players feel like they are really taking part in the war effort for their faction. Of course, giving a few loot rewards along the way wouldn't hurt either. I feel with Warlords of Draenor that the crafting system devolves with the introduction of garrisons. It's become more of a cooldown-centric farming simulator, the likes of which you might see on your phone or on Facebook. Blizzard have already said that they have the largest professions team working on Legion than they have for any other expansion, and I hope this translates into a similar but more in-depth version of what we had in Mists of Pandaria and previous to that. Would also like to see less emphasis on blueprints with set stats and RNG secondary stats for more player-driven choice and freedom. For instance, why not let a player dictate what stats an item will be crafted with by introducing farmable materials that increase a particular stat on an item whilst crafting? Blizzard has traditionally used reputation factions as tar pits, slow grinding progression post-max level used as a time sink to draw out the length of time somebody might keep their sub up for a patch. I can understand why they need to have time sinks in the late game, but I don't think it should be all grindy daily or weekly quests. I would like to see each reputation faction have their own timeless isle type zone, full of varying activities that all contribute towards reputation. I think it could also be beneficial for reputation factions to have more of an impact on your character's progression. For instance, you could get them involved with the overarching legendary quest chain, the player choosing which factions to take along with them as allies, and maybe even choose some that they could go up against. So we've all been doing these same holiday events for the last 10 years or thereabouts now, and they are really starting to grate. A whole year on and it feels like I was grinding them yesterday. I think it's time for a change. The bosses in the special 5-man instances don't seem to have any effort put into their tuning anymore, and I would love to see at least 1 or 2 of these changed. I think holiday events embody the spirit of a decent MMO well, and the ones in WoW are, or were, good. But there's only so many times I can kick a Wolpertinger. And finally, people get attached to their characters in World of Warcraft. They also get attached to their character's main spec. I see my paladin as a tank, but I'm forced to play as either Healadin or Retribution in competitive PvP. Tanks in the past have occasionally been somewhat viable in competitive PvP, but have since been patched out. We've had blue posts from Blizzard stating that when tanks are having fun in PvP, other players just aren't. I don't think it's good enough to just nerf tanks in PvP and leave it at that. There has to be some way that Blizzard can allow tanks to be viable and fun in PvP, even if it means retuning and overhauling PvP as a whole. What do you think Blizzard should implement in World of Warcraft Legion? Do you agree with my ideas? Leave a comment below, and thank you very much for watching.